Prepare for the colossal clash of titans. The king versus the man-child Barbie Ken doll.
This guy crashed out about, I guess this is like a clip that I did. I am apparently the dumbest person to him.
Destroying king, let's go, Team Asmongold. Can't stand this guy anyways.
One of the things that's been driving me crazy more and more lately is when you have people...
You mean more than Charlie Kirk's wife? Because that's what you have been focused on lately.
Who have large audiences.
Yes.
Who don't know what the they're talking about.
Oh, you do.
But they're just desperate to start giving their political takes and opinions.
So basically you are jealous of the audience he has. Okay.
Because, look, you do a massive disservice. You have this giant audience of people who follow you, and if you're out there...
The disservice is disagreeing.
Spreading false notions of politics, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Unacceptable, you absolute weasel. What do you mean unacceptable? It's called a free society. Unacceptable. Man, I can't stand this guy. I really can't stand this guy. Asmongold, 50 times over this guy. Exactly. Jealous master. Yeah. I mean, the guy is successful. He's rich. Okay. So I'm not. When we say he's jealous, we get it. He's got his audience. He's made his money. He was definitely better years ago than he is now. Now he's just a freaking laughing stock. That's what he is. He's a clown. But look at this. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. What is unacceptable? To open your mouth? Freedom of speech.
Best example of this is Joe Rogan, who doesn't know his ass from his elbow. But he's out there. He was at the inauguration. He gave Trump a softball interview. He gave J.D. Vance a softball interview.
Didn't give you an interview. I can see why you're mad.
Stone massages every billionaire in the country on his show regularly.
Hey, he invited Kamala Harris. She didn't go. So there is that.
But then he'll go on his show and... So, who, me, bro? I'm just like a centrist. I'm like, I'm not right. I'm not left. I'm sort of above the fray and stuff.
Oh, so he's one of those who says centrists are our enemies just like the right. Yeah, good strategy that. It really helped you with the swing states, did it?
Like, whatever. He tries to do this enlightened centrist bit. Meanwhile, he's like...
I thought this was about me. Let's get to the part about me.
Yeah.
On the Trump train, quite literally. Yeah. So, he's a great example of it. But another one is Asmongold. Asmongold, he's been getting more and more political. And I hear this. I just want to shove my nuts in a waffle iron when I hear this shit. Because, like, what are you saying? What are you saying? You know you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. You know you don't know what you're talking about.
Great.
But he does it anyway. So here he...
You know you don't know what you're talking about means you have a different opinion than what we have in the radical left cult decided is the doctrine and dogma that you're not allowed to criticize.
He is giving his theory.
Okay, so here, all right, here we go. This is me talking. All right, let's find out.
Let's find out.
About how, the Democrats, they've been so radicalized that the Republicans are, the poor put upon Republicans, they're just like reacting to what the insane Democrats are doing. I'm not kidding. That's his actual argument. Let's watch.
This is I think it is a unique Democrat problem. Now, when a Republican does something bad, here's the big difference, right? It's not that Republicans don't do anything bad, but when a Republican does something bad, everybody generally says, oh, okay, that's really bad. But the problem is that Democrats look to try to, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't matter that much. Who cares?
Oh, he mad. Now do you understand why I said this made me want to shove my nuts in a waffle iron?
Great argument.
Yeah. Getting
you know
sexual.
what?
Getting
that
sexual.
I never saw it this way whenever I said it, but now that you say that you want to put your dick in a waffle iron, I completely agree with you. I actually was wrong. I was totally wrong.
Homie literally said,
yes,
when a Republican does something bad, other Republicans could be like, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, generally. I think
generally,
true. I think it's more true than for Democrats.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's exceptions, but I think it's generally true.
Absolutely. Look at this. Look at this clown. You're a clown. Of course we don't mean... We all know he's going to say Nancy Pelosi, and there were people that were laughing. Yeah, and we rebuke them from the right. We rebuke them. We do not agree with them. We think they were out of line. Problem is there weren't hundreds of thousands of people laughing at someone else's... He didn't even die, by the way, Nancy Pelosi's husband. But on the left, hundreds of thousands with 500,000 likes, everyone laughing at freaking... Low. The numbers are not even comparable.
Yeah.
That might actually be the least true thing I've ever heard in my life. That is somehow the most false thing I've ever heard.
So the argument is no. Got it.
Entire life.
Okay.
Prove it.
Asmongold, bro.
Great argument.
Let me just tell. Let's just go with Elon Musk. What did Elon do when he was running Doge? You guys all know this. How many times have I given you the list?
All right.
He cut pediatric cancer research. Not a single Republican came out. Not a single Republican came out.
He's one of those like Destiny. The stronger and the louder you sound, the more upset you sound, the more correct your point is.
Criticized him for cutting child cancer research.
Has it ever occurred to you that maybe the research was done in a way that was bad? Like, every time that people say something like this, the implication is that, oh, they're curing cancer or something like that. This is bullshit. Yeah. And also on top of that, yeah, just because you're doing research doesn't mean that it's a good allocation of government money. What if the research that you're doing is problematic? What if the research is not funded properly? What if you're getting too much money? There are all of these questions. It's like basically doing cancer research is not an immediate and infinite get out of jail free card from any degree of accountability and any amount of government oversight. What a crazy thing to say.
I also don't understand why he brought up Elon Musk as if Elon Musk is the typical representative of the Republican Party or the right in general. There are plenty of people that don't like Elon Musk on the right. What are you on about?
But it's for cancer kids.
It's basically the same manipulative logic when they tell you, if you don't transition your children, they are going to off themselves. So are you saying you want your children to off themselves? Then you better agree to the surgery. Absolutely not.
Okay, great emotional argument. We love that. It's optics? Yeah, it's just optics. Mm-hmm. It's just the way that it sounds. Because the idea of, oh my God, he's cutting research for cancer kids. Oh no! That sounds bad.
By the way, there was one of those things was literally a cure that worked.
Oh, okay. So we had a cure. Let's get this straight. We had a cure for cancer. We almost had it, but Donald Trump and Elon Musk turned it off.
Not only that, but I'd like to underline, since his actual argument before he went ape, his actual argument was Asmongold, what he's saying is unacceptable because Asmongold doesn't know what he's talking about. Therefore, meaning he doesn't have a degree in political science, I guess. Well, first and foremost, do you have a degree in political science since what you do is commenting on politics? Or is it just the simple fact that your politics are just right, correct, the acceptable type of politics? You are in the correct team. And tribalistically speaking, then your politics are fine, even though you're not a political analyst by trade. Still, it's fine because left wing. And the other thing, now is speaking about medical science. Are you a doctor? Do you have a PhD in medicine? Do you? Otherwise, why are you talking about something you don't understand? You can literally reuse the same line of argumentation that he used on Asmongold can be used on him. But it's always rule for thee, not for me. Subscribe.
Okay, sure.
I'm not kidding. It was a gene editing thing that they used to stop leukemia.
You're a geneticist.
They tried it on somebody.
Yes.
It worked. He cut the fucking funding.
Okay. So it worked on one person. Which again, I'm not even sure whether this is true. I don't have that. I don't have it in front of me. I don't remember this happening at all, by the way. But like, okay, so we have one person it happened on.
But regardless, we could disagree with Elon Musk's funding allocation, fine. But what about Asmongold, though? Like, what does that have to do with the entirety of the right wing?
Leukemia is cancer? Yeah, it's blood cancer.
National Weather Service, which literally led to deaths. It led to deaths. There was a late warning that went out because he cut the National Weather Service, and you have these kids at a Christian sleepaway camp who died. He cut...
Okay. I live in Texas. Mm-hmm. Meteorologists say the National Weather Service did its job in Texas. Doge cut hundreds of jobs at the NWS, but experts who spoke to Wired says the agency accurately predicted the state's weekend flood risk.
Not to mention Wired is very progressive. So if Wired said this, I mean, at this point, if they didn't use it as a line of attack against the right, you could pretty much, yeah.
These are meteorologists. If you don't know, that's a weather wizard. Those are people that understand the weather.
Weather wizard.
Okay. Oh, would you look at that?
Cracks me up.
Would you look at that?
Next.
Sounds like some specific... And this is the thing, right? You give a specific example, and it falls apart.
Meals on Wheels.
Right.
He cut the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is the anti-scam police. No
Good. They weren't doing their job. They obviously had no fucking idea what they were doing. The scams have been through the fucking roof.
It's like the insane manipulative attempt is that he's presenting whatever it is, a few lines. Oh, this happened, it's bad, but Republicans didn't say it was bad. And that's an argument? What if the Republicans agreed with that specific take? Of course, they're not going to complain about it. But give enough lines, you will absolutely find situations in which Republicans weren't happy. In fact, how many people are complaining about Israel right now within the right wing? It's turning into a freaking civil war. How many people didn't like the Epstein file situation? This is leaking all over the place. This guy hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. So at this point, should we use the same argument and say it's unacceptable that he makes these broad statements because they are imprecise?
So, yeah, wow. Well, let me get this straight. Okay, so there's a bureau of people that are supposed to stop scams, and you want to keep them on payroll? They sucked.
Republicans criticized any of these things. None of them. He fired 83,000 veterans. Nobody criticized it.
Oh, no. You can't fire veterans anymore. Didn't you know that? We're not allowed to fire veterans. Another emotional appeal.
He fired 250,000 government workers overall. Nobody fucking criticized it.
Good. It should have been more.
Criticized it. When he cut USAID, cutting off malaria medication from going to people who need it. HIV medication.
Oh, no. That's right. It's America's responsibility to pay for people that have HIV and AIDS in Africa. That's right. Oh, yeah.
I would say foreign help is a good thing as long as first you get your things in check in your own country, because citizen first.
People have been dying in droves. They didn't.
Is he specifying in America or not? No, he's not. It's because it's not happening in America. He's right that USAID was funding the lives of a number of people outside of America. This is absolutely true. And that's why a lot of people voted to get rid of it. It's because you have people here that are dying from lack of medical care. You have people here that don't have housing. And so why is it that we are allocating money and resources to stopping HIV and AIDS in countries that are not our own, but we're not able to keep houses? You want to talk about veterans? Why are there any homeless veterans? Where is the priority list that a veteran ever gets outranked by a person in Africa?
Mm-hmm. I agree with him. Absolutely.
That's not the place that I'd want to live in. I'll tell you that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Not to mention, it still fails at the attack. The attack was supposed to demonstrate, what he's now spewing, was supposed to demonstrate that people on the right never complain about their leaders, I guess, in the right wing. And that's objectively false. You can, of course, find situations in which you'll say, you see, the Republicans didn't have a problem with that. Yeah, because they agreed with it. They voted for it. Of course, they're not going to agree with what a leftist thinks is the right thing to do in any given scenario. But there might absolutely be, and we know for a fact, I mean, why are we even wasting time with this line of argument? It's ridiculous.
You criticize it?
Of course, because I agree with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with it. Good call. W.
Your minds, and that's just Elon. I didn't even mention Trump.
Which, by the way, and also all of these examples here that he's given are policy decisions and not actual violence. Mm-hmm. I was discussing things like Charlie Kirk and Jay Jones.
Exactly. You see, I didn't notice that, but he caught him immediately. It's a logical fallacy then. If the original item of conversation was, who's more violent, the left or the right? Spoiler alert, the left. Then, which, once again, doesn't mean that the right is never violent, but we are comparing. And in comparison, absolutely it's the left wing. Absolutely it's the radical left that is more violent right now than the far right. I don't care if that offends people. There will be 15 pages on Reddit now going as to, oh, Metatron said this. Yes, I did. I doubled down. Go tell Charlie's family that you disagree rather than me. But that is the opinion. Now, rather than saying that him or me having this opinion is unacceptable, how about you debunk the opinion? How about you present an opposite opinion? No, he goes into something completely unrelated. Completely unrelated. Good catch.
In the clip. And so he's misinterpreted what I've said.
Yes.
And he's even making an argument that doesn't even make sense in the context of what I said.
Exactly.
So not only did you get the argument wrong, but to the extent that you're making your other argument, that one's also wrong.
But it's sufficient for his audience to say bigots, fascists, 100%. That's why he's using it. That's why it's complete intellectual dishonesty. That's why Asmongold is going to be always superior to the likes of this and his ilk. Because Asmongold is transparent. He can be wrong. He can be misinformed on some topics. Although then again, a lot of the times, I'll be honest with you, Asmongold says what all of us think. Can we appreciate it for what it is? But anyways, even if I wanted to take it and say, yeah, but sometimes he's wrong, and who isn't? Sometimes he's wrong, okay. But he's transparent and he's honest. This guy is mental manipulation and virtual signaling in a bow of dog whistling.
Been bombing random dingy fishing boats with innocent people in them.
How do you know that? You really think... What about the submarine? Was that a fishing submarine too? Do you really think that they're blowing up? Really think that they're fishing boats? This is an innocent fishing submarine. Don't you guys have those? With 4 motors on them. Yeah, and by the way, so let me get this straight. So the U.S. government can read a license plate with a satellite from outer space, but you think that a Twitter post that said that the people were innocent is more accurate than that? Sure.
Yeah.
And nobody on the right has been criticizing it at all.
Because they agree with it, because it's the right thing to do. It is. Absolutely. Blow up the boats. Without even a question. How could you be against that? I mean, these are people that are trying to bring drugs to our country that are going to kill our people.
Yeah. And our kids.
If I saw somebody running at my house with a bomb, I would want to shoot them before they got to my house. I wouldn't want to try to apprehend them, arrest them, and try to put them through a whole process. No, you just fucking shoot them. And he'd do the same thing.
They've all been lying and pretending these are narco-terrorists and Trump...
They're lying. Okay, where's the argument that they're...
Prove it. Prove it, because just saying bad, right bad, is not enough. Or centrist bad as well, like this guy.
The right people and stuff. This is insane. This is insane.
It's insane. Okay, well, that's a good argument for why they're not narco-terrorists.
No arguments, no logic.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the fishing submarine... it was just a bunch of, like poor innocent Venezuelans who were just trying to get by, and they only had enough money to cobble together for one submarine. And you know what they say, right? You got to fish where the fish are. And so they had to go underwater to
Well, you don't know. Maybe if in a gaming perspective, maybe they just, instead of grinding, am I right? It was a DLC. Maybe it was a DLC, free DLC when you return, you get 20,000 silver because they were return players.
Get the fish.
Even if they were...
okay. So even if they were, right? Okay.
All right.
So now we've already shifted.
Got it.
We've already shifted from, no, there's no way this is the case. But if it was the case, okay, here we go.
Okay. It's wrong.
Trafficking narcotics, the penalty is not instant death. Are you?
Yeah, it is. And if it's not, it should be. How about that?
Are you ridiculous? Oh my.
Yeah.
Yet the penalty for having a different opinion was instant death on Charlie Kirk, and the likes of you celebrated that. So you are in no position. You're in no position to be on the moral ground. You lost that. The entire Democratic Party lost that, which is why a lot of Democrats became centrists. A lot of Democrats, like the number of videos on TikTok and YouTube that say I left the Democratic Party. Precisely because of this, because you, not to mention, do you think it is appropriate to make fun of a widow when her husband's body is still warm? That's what you did. No position whatsoever to give us lessons on morality.
Why not? Really, why not? Who's going to stop us? Yeah, exactly.
my God, we're only 24 seconds into a 2-minute clip. I don't know if I can get through this.
I'm only 3 minutes into his clip. I don't know if I can get through this.
Same.
I don't know if I might like have an aneurysm on air.
Like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't matter that much. Who cares? And I think that has radicalized a lot of people.
So if you have an aneurysm on air, we won't laugh about it. But if we did, Democrats would. Not all, but you know what I'm saying.
And I'll view that, and we can contrast this now with, do you remember whenever they had all those text message leaks and it was all those young Republican people talking about how much they liked Hitler?
Yeah.
And nobody really cared about that anymore. And the reason why, it's because left-wing people have established basically a standard, and now right-wing people are living up to it.
He flipped the truth exactly on its head.
Okay.
This is insane.
Really? Okay.
It's been the exact opposite. My entire adult life, it's been the opposite. There was literally a slogan that the Democrats had about how much we're pussies. Michelle Obama came out and said, when they go low, we go high. That dominated a generation of Democratic thought.
Then why'd you guys burn down all the stuff in BLM?
Yep. Why did you laugh at the people's getting... Why? Shut up, you absolute moron, hypocrite. So you are the party of go high when they go low. You didn't look like it. Whenever the Christian children, when those children in Texas drowned, I was live. I need to say this to this fake platinum blonde here. When the children drowned in Texas, I was live. I had to block, I don't even know how many people in my chat, because all the leftists came and started saying, good, they would have grown up to be bigots.
Why'd you burn down the Teslas? That doesn't sound like going high.
Exactly.
Maybe getting high,
Yeah.
but not going high.
Let's go.
So because Michelle Obama said something, now everything that Democrats do is automatically good.
It's ridiculous. Empirical data
Well.
proves otherwise.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. Because you're not brainwashed, that's why.
They go low, we go high.
Yeah.
And then what happened? The Republicans decided to shatter the filibuster record under Obama. Obama literally came out and said, I'm going to propose your ideas, Republicans. I'm going to do the things you say you love. I'm going to do a health care plan that came from the Heritage Foundation, a right-wing think tank, and Mitt Romney, the Republican, did it in Massachusetts as the governor. I'm going to do your plan.
Uh-huh.
And Republicans had previously all supported this plan.
I think the Republicans treated Obama too harshly, too. Honestly, I generally agree with this. I think the Republicans, like, they stopped them from appointing Merrick Garland as Supreme Court Justice, which I think Obama did have the purview to do. And throughout his entire tenure as being president, that did happen. Like, I mean, he's right about this. Yeah, absolutely.
Obama proposed it. We're against it. We're against it. How dare you?
I think the ACA was bullshit. And I think that the best way to tell that the ACA was bullshit is that all of these different insurance companies had their fucking stock go way up after it got passed. The Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare, was the main thing that Obamacare was caring for were the insurance companies and private healthcare companies. It was mandatory welfare for those companies. It was a joke. Now, the Republicans didn't want what I want, which is universal health care. They don't want that. However, what Obama did wasn't good either.
It's communist for us to do the healthcare plan that we can.
But do you see the difference? Like, he actually made a good point that demonstrates he looked into this. What is he doing? He's playing chicken. He's playing chicken. And this is a serious political commentator right here?
Came up with. This is who we're dealing with.
Okay.
They broke the filibuster record.
Sure.
They fucking instantly rejected their own ideas. Obama would do things like cut small business taxes, and they would attack him for it, even though, again, that's their ideas. You want to talk about radicalized. 100% is the exact opposite.
You're out of your mind. See, even if we were to give him this one and say, oh yeah, now there are some Republicans that get radicalized. Okay, they don't shoot people in the neck. They don't shoot people in the neck. So shut it with your radicalized. Much better to be radicalized on the far right than it is to the radical left. Absolutely. No questions asked.
Democrats and liberals and leftists have been...
No, for sure. People were negative about Obama. Yeah, definitely. I think that was stupid. It was stupid then. It's still stupid.
It has nothing to do, of course, in comparison to the sort of radicalization that we're having to deal with now. So the point doesn't
radicalized
stand.
by Republicans being so fucking insane. Trump tried to coup the government. Trump lost an election to Joe Biden, and then he did fake elector slates, which was illegal, by the way, but he got away with it.
Yes.
Then they had January 6th, the violence at January 6th. Even after the violence, Trump was still making phone calls saying, don't certify Joe Biden.
And this is the difference between, I think, a lot of liberals and people like me. Like leftists like this will bend over backwards to justify why it was actually a good thing that we spent an entire year burning down auto zones, looting 7-Elevens, and destroying every city.
And also they will justify trying to assassinate the sitting president of the United States because he did this. So, layer of justification. That's called propaganda.
During BLM. They'll bend over backwards justifying why it's actually a good thing that you're destroying Teslas, or why it's a good thing that you had people that were, like Jay Jones, who's having conversations, fantasizing about people he's running against.
Brother.
Politically, right? The difference between, I think that myself and people like him is that I can easily say January 6th was a bad thing. It was awful. Yeah. It was bad. The problem is that in a lot of cases, people like Kyle are unwilling to cede any ground or to look at anything objectively. They see everything through the lens of what their side wants, and they're not looking at it in any sort of an objective or realistic way.
True.
Obviously, January 6th was bad. Now, I think that it was very clearly misrepresented. And if you don't think so, then, maybe the BBC should hire you as a lawyer.
Exaggerated
because they admitted that it was misrepresented and apologized for it. So very clearly it was misrepresented. But even in its best representation, it was still bad.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But you don't need to come up with excuses for it.
Or to use it together with other things. Oh, but they're fascist, they're Nazi, to justify violence, which is exactly what his side does.
This is the problem. And that's the whole point that I'm making. That was the entire point of my clip, is that whenever Republicans, like what I was saying, do something bad, like January 6th, people like me, at least,